Some of the biggest stars from fantasy football over the last couple years have seen their stock plummet this season. Is it worth buying the dip, or is it just a trap? If you're ready to start drafting right now, you actually don't have to wait. Get on Underdog and do a best ball draft. They have tournaments open right now where you can draft and take advantage of those pre-NFL draft values on rookies, free agents, and more. Get in there right now. You can download the Underdog Fantasy app or click on the link in the description. Just make sure if you're signing up for the very first time on Underdog, use promo code ENDGAME because that gets you a 100% deposit match up to $100. Start off with a guy who let a lot of people down, not just in the playoffs, but pretty much the second half of 2023, Stefon Diggs. Assuming everything's the same in Buffalo, do you think that Diggs is worth a second-round pick still? Because he's going around pick 24 now.
No, I don't. As somebody who had Stefon Diggs last year, I mean, from week 10 on, he was borderline unstartable most weeks, not even close to being a top 24 fantasy player. And why will it change? What is going to change? Same coaching staff, same Josh Allen, same Diggs. There's nothing here that you can point at and say, well, because of this, he struggled and that's gone now. No, it's all the same. He's a year older. I cannot do it this early with Diggs. I just can't.
Yeah, I agree. And, some people might say, well, it's not him. He hasn't lost a step. It's just they didn't throw it to him as much. He wasn't involved. It all happened when the offensive coordinator changed. Well, guess what? That's not changing because they're going to continue with the same system. And so I don't think that we're going to see number one receiver in fantasy football, Stefon Diggs, anymore because this Buffalo offense wants to spread the ball around, diversify, get Dalton Kincaid involved, dump it off to the running back. I don't think Diggs is going to be a stud receiver, and I'm not drafting him in the first two, probably 3 rounds. Now, some people may not want to accept that Cooper Kupp has had his best years. I mean, he can't have a better year than he did back when he almost broke the receiving record, but still, now we see Puka is a first-round pick. Cooper Kupp went from number 4 down to 39. Is that too far of a fall?
In this case, I'm going to say yes, because now we're talking early 4th round here. Potentially your number 2, number 3 wide receiver, maybe your number 4 wide receiver if you go 0 RB. I think Cooper Kupp still has enough left that he'll be good. And where you're drafting him here at this spot, you don't need elite Cooper Kupp anymore. You just need a guy who's reliable and will get you fantasy points. And I think he can do that. So I think I'm okay with him here.
I want to agree because, like you say, it's not like Kupp did nothing like Stefon Diggs through the end of the year. He was just up and down. He was inconsistent. He did have some moments. He did have touchdowns. But I'm a little worried to take him this soon because he's just a little older and he's had a lot of injuries, and that included last season. I just prefer to get a guy that's a little younger, a little more upside. So I'm okay with Kupp as my number 2 receiver, but I'd be more okay if it was around pick 50. All right, and you knew this was coming. It's Travis Kelce. All right, let's just stick to the stats and the facts. Travis Kelce was not the tight end 1 in fantasy last year, so obviously not worth a first-round pick. Is he worth a 4th-round pick?
This one is tough for me. I'm going to say I don't think he is. I mean, there are going to be times where I will draft Travis Kelce because I don't want to have 0 exposure to Travis Kelce, but I think the days of Travis Kelce being the tight end cheat code are over. Now he's just a very good tight end, which there's nothing wrong with that, but not that cheat code anymore. And I feel like I can just wait and get other very good tight ends later in my draft. So I think this is still too high for Travis Kelce.
I'm probably going to wait another round or 2 and get a guy like McBride or Mark Andrews. But I actually don't feel like this is too late for Kelce because he was still productive. He just wasn't dominant. But now you're getting him in the 4th round. So I think I'm fine with this. Like I said, I'm not going out of my way to get him, but I think also this guy is getting a little unfairly stigmatized because of all the hype and the circus and all that. And look, maybe that just goes away next year. Maybe, hopefully. And a lot of people thought Calvin Ridley would bust out in Jacksonville, and he did sometimes, like a few weeks, and then he just busted several other weeks. Now you can get him 20 picks later than you did a year ago. Is he going to be worth it?
Yeah, I think at this spot, going around round 6, I think I'm willing to gamble on Calvin Ridley again because kind of like what you said with Cooper Kupp, it's not like Calvin Ridley was just bad week in and week out. He had many great games. he just had a lot of also bad games. And if he's your flex, your wide receiver 3 type, I'm okay with that kind of volatility if I get the kind of upside. And he could get better. Remember, he didn't play football for over a year. He could be even better this year. I think this is more than fair of a drop for Calvin Ridley.
Well, I think this is where Calvin Ridley should have been drafted last year. His price just got way too rich for me, and that's why I really didn't have any Ridley last year. I think this is fair. I think this is fine. So I'll probably have some exposure to Ridley at least this season. All right, now it's time to enter the great unknown, and that's the world of free agent running backs. Let's start with Josh Jacobs, who has been a workhorse for the Raiders. Be a workhorse for somebody next year, but regardless of where he lands, he's going from a second rounder down to almost pick 60. Is that just too far of a drop?
Way too far of a drop here. Why has he dropped this far? Do we just think he's not going to sign anywhere, or he's going to sign in a terrible situation where they already have an established running back? Josh Jacobs is going to be the lead back somewhere. And I know he wasn't as good last year as he was the year before, but at pick 60, even if you get the guy you got last year, that's great. I will happily take him here.
Yeah, the uncertainty is definitely the key here. Like you said, somewhere he'll be an effective back. And like on Underdog, I'm taking this value now because once he does sign, wherever he signs, he's going to see his ADP go up, and you're going to want to take him now. There's a good chance Ramondre Stevenson isn't going anywhere. He'll still be the Patriots guy. So why is he dropping so far? He was a third-round pick last year. Now he's available after round 6.
Yeah, this makes no sense either. Look, I'm not super high on Ramondre like I was last year. I really liked Ramondre. But again, like I said with Josh Jacobs, at this spot, if you get the same Ramondre Stevenson you got last year with this pick, you're going to be fine with that. I know he started slow, but he was coming on there before his injury. He was having some really nice games. Looked like he was going to have a strong finish. I think this is way too low for Ramondre Stevenson as well. I'll happily grab him here.
This is some major recency bias in effect. Didn't help you at all in the end of the season in the fantasy playoffs because he wasn't out there. He got hurt. Zeke was a great pickup. Look, Ramondre was doing just fine. Even that horrible offense, I don't even know or care who they have at quarterback. It's got to be an improvement. So yeah, Ramondre, it's like a screaming value right now. All right, now we got to talk about Tony Pollard. Will he be in Dallas next year? Won't he be? I think we all can agree he was drafted way too high last year at pick 12. Is he going to be drafted too late this year, now going around pick 80?
This is another guy I don't understand why he's going this late. I mean, I get it because, again, he wasn't as good as we hoped he would be last year, and there is some uncertainty about where he will play, but he's going to play somewhere, and we've seen him be effective even if he's not the lead back. We've seen him be effective even in a complementary role. Pick 80? I mean, what is really the risk here? How many players around pick 80 have the kind of upside of Tony Pollard? So, again, I think this is a screaming value. I'm grabbing him here for sure.
Yeah, I'm a little on the fence with this one. I would say, look, if Dallas doesn't add a major piece at running back, like Derrick Henry or something like that, yeah, I'm fine with Pollard here. If so, I think we might be back to the Pollard of a couple years ago, which was good, but not a guy you want to depend on every week. So as of right now, I think he's fine here. All right, then the biggest follower so far is Austin Eckler because he went from the number 2 overall pick down below pick 80. I get it. He wasn't good last year, and he's not going to be a Charger most likely. But at this point, do you just feel compelled to take the discount here?
This is one I'm going to say no. I know it seems like a huge discount, but he was so bad last year. And now the question is, where is he even going to be this year? Is there a team out there who's going to view Austin Eckler as a feature back? I don't think so. Best case, he's going to be the pass-catching complimentary back somewhere, and it might not even be a great situation. And again, he looked so bad last year. I'm really worried that he's just lost a step. So even at this discounted price, I'm avoiding him.
Yeah, if you take one look at Austin Eckler, you can think that guy hasn't lost anything. But, man, Father Time catches up with all pro athletes, but NFL running backs the most. I'm willing to take a flyer if he lands in a great spot. And right now, I don't know that that's going to happen. So I'd say I'm passing for the time being. I guess I'm okay missing out on the potential discount. Now, what about still Charger, Justin Herbert? Magnificent early in the season and then hurt late. What are we going to get from Herbert? Is pick 90 too late for him?
I think it is. I mean, maybe we're not going to get top 5, top 3 QB Justin Herbert, but with Jim Harbaugh there, I think he'll be better. I think they're going to address the wide receiver position. I think he's going to get the most out of him. Jim Harbaugh just gets the most out of his players. He wins wherever he goes. I think Herbert bounces back, and I think this is too low.
I'm going to disagree on this one. Like, I was all over Herbert last year. Had way too much Herbert, and it was great for half a season. This offense is going to get more conservative. They're going to run the ball more. The defense hopefully is better. So I'm just going to wait and take a different quarterback, honestly. And then this might be a tricky one. TJ Hawkinson, we know why he was one of the top tight ends and a third-round pick last year. Maybe not going to play for half a season longer. Who knows? So pick 105. Too soon or too late?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I know you're going to see him there. Pick 105, and you're going to think, hey, if he's back healthy for the second half, the fantasy playoffs, this is a steal. And you're right. But the thing is, if he's back healthy, and that's the worry here, coming off ACL injury that occurred very late in the season. Doubt we're going to see him at least till halfway. And then you got to hope he works his way back and gets healthy and is ready to go by the fantasy playoffs. I just don't think it's worth it. Chances are he's going to get dropped at some point and just end up on the waiver wire. So I'm going to pass at this point.
This is as hard a no for me as you can get for any player. It's not worth it. No, I don't want the headache. I don't want to wait and hope and stash, and I'm not doing it. I don't even care if his ADP was 200. We also talked about some players who maybe should be going later than they are. These players have some major red flags you need to be aware of.